feedback, please. Somebody, is this still staticky? Great, sounds great. Good. All right, thank you. Wonderful. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's having an awesome day, awesome week, awesome month. Today, we got a lot to cover. We're going to jump around a lot. So we're going to jump around and talk about a lot of different things, but I wanted to start off the meeting with a couple different statements. I already started with you're never, basically, it's never too late to make a new decision. I was kind of saying you're never too old to make a new decision either, so it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're in your 40s, 50s. Tom Brady, 43 years old, might as well be retirement age for a football player. Makes a new decision, comes out and still knocks it out of the park. So another statement that I saw that's something to think about. You can deal with a difficult today if you have a compelling tomorrow. So you can deal with the difficult today if you have a compelling tomorrow. So what is that really saying? What it's really saying is, you have to have some projection looking forward. You have to have some goals. You have to have some emotional attachment to what you're doing. If you have no emotional attachment to what you're doing, why the hell would you continue to do it? I've said this to you before. If somebody came to me and said, hey, can you run 10 miles without stopping? I would say, I don't know. I mean, I'll try. I'll probably stop at mile 1.5. But if they came to me and put a gun to my kid's head and said, I will kill your children if you do not run 10 miles without stopping, I will run 20 without stopping to prove a point, and then I'm going to kick your ass when I get back here. The point being, there's a strong enough emotional attachment to what you want, what you need to do, what you're going to do. Without that emotional attachment, nothing means anything, and you have no reason to persevere. So what you have to have is a compelling enough tomorrow. How do you create a compelling tomorrow? How do you create some emotional attachment to something to make sure that you're going to persevere and push through no matter what happens? Because at some point you said, I want this, but for some reason tomorrow you don't do the things you knew to get there. How do you create emotional attachment? So I want to talk to you about creating some emotional attachment and simple things that you can do that are going to help you stay attached to an outcome and have some accountability to that. Let's go here. So doing that, and just so you can follow along with me, this section is what we're looking at down here. Start with some brainstorming. One of the most useful things that I think you can do is called a brain dump. Just take everything in your brain and dump it onto a sheet of paper. Get a whiteboard, get a sheet of paper, get a notebook, get a journal, get something, and have a brain dump moment. And in that brain dump moment, you want to ask the question, what do I want? What am I trying to accomplish? What is it that I want to see happen? And if you start writing, you'll start putting some things down about what you want. Clear your head. The idea is to get all of this shit out of your head, because when you have all of this stuff stuck in your head, you leave no room for creativity. You leave no room for your ability to create ideas, create reactions, create results, create communication, create content. You leave no room in your mind when everything is ping-ponging in here with, I have to call these many people today. I got to talk to these people. I got to have an appraisal. I do a spa. Chris told me I got to do some farming. I have my follow-up to do. Jimmy said I got to do Zap. Craig told me I have to do that. And then on top of that, but I want to see my kids. I want to have dinner. We want to go to the Monster Jam when it comes back around. All of these things in your head that you have not written one of them down, they stay in your head. And it clouds your judgment. It clouds your ability to think clearly. It clouds your ability to have freedom to create creativity towards the things that you want. So have a brain dump. Take a moment. Get a sheet of paper and ask yourself, what do I want? I don't care if it's personal. I don't care if it's business. I don't care if it's related to income, to finances, to goals. Just write down anything at all, and you will start to get some things that maybe you never thought of before. Start writing down, what do I want? If you stop and you have trouble, ask yourself something else. What don't I want? What is it I don't want? And then write the opposite of that down. A lot of times, I know it's difficult for us. It's really, really difficult for us to attach to things they want. For me, it is. I've always been that way. I am a pleaser. I will please to no end to my own detriment. So for me to sit down and say, what do I want? I'm like, all right, well, what can I do? If I do that, it'll be good for my family. It'll be good for my wife. Maybe what about the office? I want to try and do more of that. If I think about what do I want, I automatically start going to things that may not be what's best for me. It's best for everybody else. And then on top of that, I start thinking about the how do I do that right away. So get rid of all of that shit and just think, what do I want? And if you have a hard enough time with that, say, what don't I want? What are the things I don't want to do? I don't want to gain 20 pounds this month. All right, so what do I want? I want to be in the best shape of my, what's the opposite of that? Being in the best shape of your life. I don't want to be broke at the end of this month. I don't want to see my savings account go to zero at the end of this month. So what do I want? I want to have at least $10,000 in savings at the end of this month, whatever that is. What do I want? And write all of these things down. It does not matter what it is. No one is reading your paper but you. No one is judging yourself but you. So write it all down. It does not matter. I don't care if it's financial. I don't care if it feels materialistic. Write it all down, get it out of your head, and start attaching to it. The next step is to refine that search. Refine it with some attachment. Which one of those things makes you excited? What of those make you excited? What of those give you an emotional juice? What of those give you a jolt that make you feel, wow, that'd be really cool? After you write all that down, go through and say, which ones make you excited? And which ones don't really matter to you right now because, I'll do that some other time. And those ones that make you really excited, now you can start getting specific with them. I want to have money in my savings account because I don't want to be broke. Specifically, well, what would that look like for you? For you to live at a level 10 at this refinery that we're doing on this goal, for you to live at a level 10, what would that look like for you? Would it be $10,000? Would it be $1,000? Would it have a 6-month saving account? Get smart with it. Specific, measurable, attainable, real and purposeful, and time sensitive. Refine a few of those down. The ones that you can get the strongest emotional attachment to achieving in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 1 year, start refining that down a little bit. Now we have some important ones, and now we're creating some emotional attachment to it because it's important to you. And what does it look like? The next step is to visualize. Once you've done that, now you have to create it. Now you have to make it real before it even happens. This is difficult for some of us. It's difficult for me. I have to sit down and really focus, and I have to ask myself questions while I'm trying to do this. What does it smell like when I get there? What does it feel like when I have that? When that's achieved, what's it going to sound like? What am I going to see? What am I going to hear? What am I going to touch? You have to start asking yourself those questions because true visualization is going to be putting yourself in a position where it's already done, already achieved, and it is complete. The feeling that's attached to you when you have that, the sense, that feeling you have, the sights, the sounds, everything. There's a guy I listened to, he talked about, he said, I would literally visualize myself driving up in a Lamborghini to a private jet. I could see over the dash. I could feel the wind in my hair. I would stop the car and I'd get out and I could hear the sound of the door opening. And when I would close it and I'd run my finger on the side of the car, I could see the color so vividly. Walking up to the airplane that was mine with my name on the side of it, feeling the cold steel rail or aluminum rail of the stairs walking up to it, smelling the leather inside the plane when I stepped in. That's visualization, and that's an attachment, and there's always an emotion that goes with that. And like you just said, emotion is what's going to push you through the hard times and tough times. Emotion creates motion, and motion creates emotion. They go hand in hand. We have to start using them together. If you have motion without emotion, you're just going through the motions. Okay? Get some emotional attachment to it. Use some emotion here. Visualize those outcomes. See it, feel it, commit it, say it's done, and see what that's like. Share with a select group of people. Let a few people know. There's some people say, oh, because everybody says share. Don't do that. No, share with select group of people. We all know the people who are our champions. We all know the people who are our cheerleaders. We all have them. We all know who they are. Call them up and share it with them and say, this is what I plan to do. And I want you to help hold me accountable. I want to tell you what I'm doing, and I know that you're going to cheer me on the whole way. Share it with them. Now you have another sense of accountability to somebody else because, wow, I said I was going to do that. I kind of have to do it now. How many of us feel like a piece of crap when we say we're going to do something for our kids or our spouse or whatever, and we got busy and we didn't get it done? How many people feel like that? How many of us actually let it come out like that instead of letting it come out as being defensive and pissed off and angry and said, I tried, I was going to do it anyway? That's me. So you have to have some true emotional attachment to somebody who you know has your best interest in mind. And then the last thing, keep them visible. Visibility is key. Reminding yourself, revisiting them every single day, every minute of the day. We have this little black, mine's black, I don't know, you might have a pink one. We all have this little black box that is on us every single day. We look at this, I think the statement was, we look at it over 500 times in a matter of a 24-hour period. 500 times, but we all have the ability to put a screensaver on it. And when your phone rings, you see a number, and usually you'll see that screensaver a lot of times. Or if you look down at it and you just tap it, who called me? Nobody. Oh, there's a reminder. You have a screensaver on a computer. You have a refrigerator at home. If something's related to diet, put it on the refrigerator. Put it in the refrigerator every time you open it, reminding yourself, don't eat that. Put it on a whiteboard. Put it on your office door. Put it in your car on your dashboard. Tape it. Make it visible. Tell a few people about it. Make it visible. Remind yourself every day. Create some emotion every single day. And tell yourself why you're really doing it and go after it. Those are the ways that we can create a compelling tomorrow, because the compelling tomorrow creates the ability to get through any difficulties that you have today, when you can take a minute and stop and call that person and say, hey, it's been a really rough day. And somebody that you shared that with, and they remind you why you're doing it. That's accountability. That's what we all need. We all need a bunch of cheerleaders for us. So reach out and find a few of them. I'll be a cheerleader for any one of you. Come and sit down and tell me what you want. Whenever you're having a rough day, call me. And I just did that in the challenge that we have. Like, hey, roll call. Who's having some problems? Who's not doing this? Who's not doing that? And I'm going to reach out to each person who puts on there that, hey, I could be better, or I wasn't doing enough, or I didn't do it this day, and remind them of how freaking awesome they are. Because sometimes that's all we need to hear. Because if you saw the message that I sent out this morning, we don't have a ton of people that are giving us everything that we want every single day. But just remember this. I thought this was really powerful. Just reminded me of some. If you worked as a doctor every day for 40 to 50 years doing the same thing, perfecting one single surgery, working in an office, working in a hospital, went to school, did all the things you were supposed to do for 40 to 50 years, and you were the master at your craft, nobody did it better than you. People came to you from all over the country to have you perform this surgery, and then somebody who's never stepped foot in a school, let alone medical school, never held a scalpel, never dealt with a patient, never held a clipboard with all the information of a client on it, tells you you're doing it wrong, you're screwing it all up, you're such an idiot. Why the hell would you do it that way? What would you tell them? Exactly, right there. Exactly. I got two of them for you. Screw off. Are you kidding me? This is what I live for. I know. Why would you let anybody tell you that? But it's the strangest phenomenon. We know ourselves better than anybody in the world. You know yourself better than anybody else. You've lived with you for that long. You know you. Yet when somebody says a 10-second statement to you throughout the day, may not even be about you, just to you about something, we allow it to affect us and throw us off course, and all of a sudden our whole day is ruined. So somebody who knows nothing about you, never stepped foot in your shoes, never lived a day in your life, has that kind of power over you. Take your power back. The only voice that matters is the one in your head. You're the only one who has to live with you. You're the only one who has to live with your decisions and the consequences of your decisions. And the best part is you don't live with decisions. You live with the consequences of them. If you don't like the consequences, make a new decision. You're never too old to make a new decision. It's never too late to make a new decision. Rant over. Let's talk business. Sorry, I got excited for a minute. I apologize. Yeah, I don't get excited. So business wise. So what we want to talk about, you heard Craig talk a lot about leads and about Zap and about follow-up. What I'm asking you to do is if you are not going to follow up with your leads in your Zap, if you have some that you've never answered, never followed up with, release them, please. You saw the stats. There's over 200 and some leads that went to Ojo. Of those 200 and some leads, they followed up with a bunch of them, and they were able to give 40 of them back to us, and we were able to convert one of them for a close. If you're not going to do that, this is a company that's doing it over and over and over and over, like Op City. They're doing it, and they only got us out of 300 leads. Basically, they got 40 of them to contact us and get back with us, and they're doing it every single day. I know you're not. So please, let's think of the bigger picture here. If you are going to, instead of just doing a bulk email update so that you get out of the red and you get another lead that you won't follow up with, some of us, that's the truth. And let's just face those facts and face that truth. If you're not going to follow up with the leads, please release them back to us. We have plenty of people that will call them and do that and do what's necessary to make sure that the company as a whole gets better, because when the company as a whole gets better, we're able to do better and be better for you guys as well. It's all a team effort. Everybody's working together. But if you're not going to do it, don't be selfish enough to say, no, my lead. How is it yours? Just because you clicked the button, you haven't talked to them, you haven't done anything, you haven't created any rapport, built any relationship. So let's make sure we give some other people the opportunity if you are not going to do it, please. We'll talk about tech in a few minutes. So and we're just a reminder, we're looking for 25% market share in the Apollo Beach area. We have our farming list. I sent out an email yesterday asking people to join in on the farming accountability class. That's going to be Thursday at 1 o'clock. So Thursday at 1 o'clock, I would like you to come in person or on Zoom. And what we will be doing is doing the first steps. What we will do is basically what I did last Wednesday. The last Wednesday class, that was the farming class. That's what I'm going to ask you to have prepared for that. I'll send you another email tomorrow, today or tomorrow, just with a reminder. Here are the things I would like you to have done for this Thursday's class. And we're going to answer questions. We're going to troubleshoot through any of the issues that we've had. And we're going to set an expectation for the following Thursday at 1 o'clock. And you will go and do whatever you're supposed to do and come back next Thursday having done those things you said you were going to do. I don't want to see a repeat of what happened last time. 27 people, one person out of 27 did those things. This is about getting some business in our office and creating accountability and opportunity for everybody here. The more listings you have, the more people walk into our office. The more listings you have, the more people call into the office, and the more business we do and the better we do, the better market share we have. The better market share we have, the more eyes we have on us, which gives us better opportunities, which means your marketing materials do better and perform better because we get better results. So this is all team effort. Let's work on that. As far as the RSP Pro, I know some of you are using them. Between RSP Pro and Real Authority, those are two decent ones. RSP Pro is one that I've personally used. I really like their product. It's great for just listed and just sold. I do one on every listing and for every just listed, every just sold, and I send them out. I would probably say I get at least one person that clicks on it every single time, but I'm also not doing any other activity on top of that. I'm not delivering what I would do personally. I would do just listed, just sold. Every time somebody clicks on it, I would do what 10 Lead did as well, which is go deliver a CMA. And you deliver a CMA to drop it on their front door if they're not there. And if you get the CMA and they give you a call, or you follow up with them or go back and knock on the door and get an appointment for a presentation of some kind. So that's what I would be doing if I was using that, making sure that anytime somebody does that, I go back in the neighborhood, deliver something else. So they do have a program right now. You get your first 50 mailers for free when you order 50. We're talking about providing I think it's like a $50 credit as a company for every listing that goes on the market. So we're working through that right now. As long as everything goes well, we will give you that opportunity to be into that program where every time you get a listing, you'll get an email if you've opted in, and you'll get the first 50 for free. And then you have to put, or first $50 for free, $40, something like that. And then you just add and pay whatever the difference is on top of that. It's typically between $120 and $250, depending on where it's at. I'll resend that list. Yes, ma'am. Just a quick reminder, Apollo Beach Beggins page, the Facebook page. Please invite people to like it. Go through your friends list, invite people to like it. We're going to try and start using that as a forward-facing website for the Apollo Beach, trying to do some ad spend to create some more opportunities that will come in here. So invite your friends, please. Also, Jimmy's going to send out an email today or tomorrow. I know we talked about it. We're actually going to put it in place this week, asking for people to do a neighborhood spotlight for a specific neighborhood that you want to work in Apollo Beach, so we can put that on our page, or a business spotlight. If you have a business spotlight that you want to do, go to that business and we will basically shoot a quick little video. We can put that as a spotlight on the Apollo Beach Beggins Facebook page to promote local businesses, just so we can get more activity inside of our markets.
Yeah, and also keep continuing. For those of you that are already doing this, check in while you're here. If you're doing something, doing a video, check in on our page. Please, please, please. The more that we invite people, the more that we are engaged, the more content that we put on it, the more people will start to see it. So when we start doing these great little neighborhood or business spotlights, we're going to have more than just 85 people taking a look at it. So the more that you're here, the more you're doing that, check in. Even if it's on the weekend and you're working your butt off like you already are, just check in here, so we can keep getting it out there.
Perfect. Congratulations to everybody in the office. We are the #2 Century 21 office in the state of Florida. You guys did an amazing job. Thank you. That's awesome. Number 2 office in the entire state. Number 2 office in the entire state. You are part of the number 1 company, Beggins Enterprises, number 1 company in the entire state of Florida. We, Apollo Beach, is the number 2 office in the entire state. And that's amazing. Thank you so much for all you guys do. You guys are amazing. We are pushing to be the number 1 office by the end of this year. That's why we're starting to implement more of these things in here. And what? Jim White. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Oh, God, it hurts. Jim White's in Treasure Island. So just say Jim White has the number one agent in the entire world, Tanya Perry. She does over $2 million herself. I think it's closer to $3 million herself in a commission volume. And so she does what? Oh yeah, I'm just saying, as the one agent on his roster accounts for that. I don't care how many people she has on a team. It's one person on his roster that is accounting for the commission. So his office, really, if you take one person out, I mean, he drops down into the 20s. So you got one person. So somebody just find out what she drives and run her off the road or something. Is this being recorded? I'm sorry. But no, that's who we're after. We're pushing forward to be the number 1 office. That's why we're implementing and trying to do some more farming, get some more action, get some more traction in the Apollo Beach neighborhoods, and get some more activity here. Just a reminder, Mike Wiles with Coast to Coast Lending. He's basically, we are making him our preferred lender for the Apollo Beach office. The guy's awesome. Anybody who's had any experience with him will say that. Amazing at follow-up, great at processes, great at communication, and he does a wonderful job. So please give Mike Wiles with Coast to Coast Lending an opportunity. He's going to be doing the first Tuesday meeting of every single month. We'll bring in a breakfast, or the first Tuesday of every month, we'll bring a lunch in. This first one for February, we're going to be doing a breakfast for the first Tuesday of the month for February, and Mike will have a mortgage Q&A for you guys. So bring any questions. We'll remind you of that. Coming to the end of the month, floor duty. I'm going to send an email out just as a reminder. If you want to do floor duty, reach out to Rosa. So reach out to Rosa Hernandez. Let her know which shifts you would like to work for floor. I'll be sending a calendar out for you guys to go to that. And just a reminder for everything that we're doing. You heard some people talk about 90 days, commitment for 90 days, commitment for 90 days. 90 days is going to be the first true test for you getting through your business. You have to make the 90-day commitment. If you don't make the 90-day commitment, you sold yourself short. I'll tell you a story about a brand new agent, brand new in the business, not with our company, in Tennessee, I think it was. And he started out brand new in the business, and he decided that he watched all these videos, no coaching, no anything, just all these videos and videos with coaches and everything, decided he was going to make 200 phone calls a day. 200 phone calls a day. Just listed, sold, neighborhood calls, things like that. He had no listings. He used his office's listings. He called like a real authority. You can get phone numbers for neighborhoods. So he just called around neighborhoods. Then he went and decided, hey, you know what? When a property comes on the market, I'm going to go knock on the door. So he was doing 200 phone calls or door knocks every single day. Guess how much business he had at the end of 30 days? Nothing. After 30 days. Guess how much business he had between day 30 and day 90? 10 transactions. Not leads, 10 transactions. 10 listings, contracts that were going to close or did close between day 60 and 90. What happens after 30 days? What do we typically see at 30 days? Frustration. A little pissed off. It's not working. Are you sure this is going to work? There she is. Same question. Comes to me, goes, hey, are you sure this is working? I'm doing everything you're saying. I'm not getting anything. It's not happening. Goes back and sits at a computer. Comes back about 2 hours later, holding her phone going. Almost like, did you do that? Did you make that happen? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, I got a call from a friend or a friend of a friend. And the message, because I didn't recognize the number, the message was, hey, we have a mutual friend who said that I have to call you to list my property. She wouldn't use anybody else. Brand new agent, never done anything. She calls her up, gets a listing. That was the 30-day mark. Frustration sets in at the 30-day mark. That gap starts to widen. The gap between where you think you should be and where you actually are starts to widen. You think you should be here. You think you should have 20 deals. You think you should have 100 deals. You think you should have all these leads. You think you should have these listings and contracts, but you're really here. And when that gap becomes too wide, frustration sets in. And at 30 days is when it's very, very prevalent. Why? Because you're also at the point where your brain's going, we don't have to keep doing this. We can stop. We should stop. It's more comfortable to stop. It's more comfortable if we don't continue doing this. This is just not fun. I don't know why you keep doing it. Stop doing this shit to me. That's what happens. But then if you can get through that and persevere through that between day 30 and 60, you start to form some habits. It becomes a little easier. Now you become a little bit more of a professional. You've done it quite a few times. The words flow out a little bit easier. The conversations get a little bit better. And next thing you know, you're getting some results, which reinstills the fact, see, I told you were awesome. That success cycle, the belief that you can do it, says that you have potential when you believe you can do it. The potential that you think you can do it goes into the actions. Those actions that you're doing it gets a result. That result that you did it and got a result reinstills the belief that you're awesome. I told you you're a stud. Get out there and do it again, and you keep doing it. So between days 60, 30, and 90, that's what starts to happen, and you start creating results. And then those results continue to reinstill that. And then by the end of 90 days, it takes up to 3 months to start to form a habit, but it can take up to 6 months to get it to really be instilled. But at that 3-month mark, 90 days, that habit starts to get more ingrained in you. And now you start to feel more uncomfortable not doing it than actually doing it. So that 30, 60, 90 is very important. So if you can commit to something for 90 days, no stopping, do not quit. It does not matter what happens. Keep going. Keep pushing. If you don't think that you're doing the right things, come sit down with us. We'll help you. We're not changing the goal. We're changing the actions towards those goals. And we'll just shift. Because we know sometimes if you run east looking for a sunset, you're not going to get what you want. So sometimes we got to shift a little bit. Right? So if you said, I want to, 10 minutes, damn it, I hate when this happens. If you say that I'm going to get this done and I'm going to do it this way, and you start doing it, let's just say I want 100 deals and I'm going to do nothing but comment on people's photos on social media, we're going to tell you probably need to shift and we need to do something different. We need more contact, connections, more of that. So just think about that. We need to create some more connections and opportunities. Last week we cut off too short, so we didn't get a chance to do it. So we will we'll do new listings, buyer wants and needs now. So anybody who has a new property, anybody have new listings that you want to pitch, price reductions, anything like that we can pitch for you, let everybody know. Inventory is limited. If you have a listing that you want to pitch, that is not public marketing. We're letting the company know before it goes on MLS. So if you have a listing to pitch, please let me know. Let our buyers in our office know so we have a better opportunity of having our buyers get that opportunity rather than letting somebody else. Turn it the other way. It's a shotgun, so you got to talk straight into it.
Like
that? Yeah, and you could just hold up.
Okay. I have a new listing. It's going to be going live on Thursday.
Okay.
Just had the pictures done yesterday. It's in the Sereno community in Wimama. It's a nice 3-2, very clean. Carpet only in the bedrooms, granite in the kitchen, stainless steel appliances. Nice lot. Just a nice, well-kept home. We're going to be listing it at $249,900.
So new listing in Sereno. What's the price?
$249,900.
$249,900.
To 1,700 square feet.
1,700 square foot, 3-2 in Sereno. So if anybody's looking for under 250 home, we know that they're few and far between right at this moment. And the new builders don't have a ton of inventory to be able to deliver. We can deliver this right away. Who else? Anybody else? If you're online and you want to pitch, let me know. We can do that. Just unmute yourself and chime in. We can pitch any new listings. Anybody else? Buyer wants or needs? Buyers needing a specific kind of property? No? Good. Well, a couple congratulations. Congratulations, Sarah and Molly, for getting your $900,000 compound property under contract. That's awesome. Very amazing property. We're able to negotiate that and get it under contract, and the seller is going to be extremely happy once that one comes to closing. Jeannie Gleason, new listing. Ike Zamora, 2 new listings. Denise Brendel put a new listing on the market, sold over the weekend over all cash over asking price. Phil Berger, new listing. Terry Coley, new listing, already has offers on it. Heidi said and John Evans, new listing. Sarah and Molly, you guys put a new listing up as well. At least it was on the hot sheet, so it might have. I know there's some triggers that mess up a little bit on there, and it's already gone. So if you have any new listings to pitch, please let me know. Let's see what we got in the chat. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. And so we had some new contracts. You guys did awesome there. Thank you so much. And that's about it. I don't want to jump into too much else. We'll do some more tech stuff next week. We're going to talk about Forewarn and then HomeSnap. We're going to talk a little bit about that, how to use Forewarn to be able to do some research on homeowners so you can know a little bit more about them before you meet them or before you go to an appointment, and HomeSnap, how to use HomeSnap to your benefit as an agent while you're out in the field or even to generate more opportunities. So that's what we'll talk about next week. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Going once?